Hello there, gang, and welcome to Displaying Model Behavior. There's a whole bunch of news out there, so let's talk about it. The new Eternia Horde Trooper is going to be available for pre-order from Mattel Creations on the 15th of this month, so only a few days away. On my site, it's retailing for about 6,000 yen, which means that with the exchange rates being what they are, you're probably going to be looking at about 40 bucks. This looks like a really fun army builder, though you're going to need a fair bit of scratch if you want to army build this thing, but even as a standalone figure, it's going to make a great looking addition to your Motu display. So yeah, let me know if this is something that you're interested in, and how do you feel about it being a Mattel Creations project? This strikes me as something that would actually do pretty well just out there on the shop floor, but it seems like these days, particularly with Hasbro, companies seem to want to be cutting down on the amount of stuff that they sell through retailers and just want to have it all on their own website, which I get, but it's kind of a shame if it means we're going to lose the high street, even more than we already have. Hono Studios are going back to the well with their Wolverine figure, this time releasing him again, but with an unmasked face portrait. I'll keep on going. So you've got Logan's beautiful, glorious visage. And this is kind of a compromise that you make with getting a more budget type of 1/6 scale figure. Normally you would expect if this was your generic Hot Toys kind of figure, they'd probably have 3 different head portraits and all the accessories. But the Hono Toys ones are scaled down to keep the price down. But then that does mean, when I say keep the price down, it's still pretty expensive, but that does mean that if you want an unmasked Wolverine, well, you gotta buy a whole extra figure. But hey, how big of a Wolverine fan are you? So this one is definitely a nice to have, but not a need to have if you have the original. But if you're gonna try and sell an entire separate figure based just on one head portrait alone, it better look damn good. And lucky for Hono Toys, this does. This is a very good looking unmasked Logan head sculpt. I think that they're being kind of cagey. No, not cagey. No, that's not fair. That implies a negativity. They're being tactical in how they're using this license. They could have packed the Wolverine head in and jacked the price up a little bit, but I guess they want to keep it down and then give a separate option for the far more high roller type collectors. I'm not one of them, but I'll certainly appreciate this from afar. It does still look pretty. Loose Collector have a Kickstarter running right now for Zombie Tramp, which is exactly what it is. You can check out the Kickstarter yourself for the full rundown, but it's a cute 50s style pinup, kind of a Betty, is it Betty Davis? She's got Betty Davis eyes. I think that's it. So a zombified type character, which being a Kickstarter, I guess, they're going all in. So you could have a lot of fun with this. It's a little bit cheeky, a little bit risque, but hey, I mean, what is model behavior if not cheeky and risque? I'm not that risque, to be honest, but this looks like fun. Plus, comes with a comic book as well, and depending on what tier you go for, there's a whole bunch of other options as well. So if you want a cute looking zombie tramp, then head on over to Kickstarter. Go check it out. Now, how about some proper old-school actual toys? Not adult collectible action figures, even though we all know that's why we're here, but some straight-up toys. Playmates have got the Mutant Mayhem, that's it, type action figures, but with a mutation feature. It's Ninja Turtles Transformers, and they look fun. These are good for the, basically, you know, we need a gateway. We need to get the kids into action figures. You got to start them young. So therefore, these little kids' toys, perfect introduction to the Ninja Turtles with a little kind of a Transformers bent there as well. If you've got a niece or nephew or a kid, birthday's coming up, this is a good one. Then we can get them onto the high-end stuff later. Play One. This is a new company that I'm not familiar with, but they're making a figure that you might be very familiar with. This is the Galactic Hunter 1/12 scale, and it looks like a 1/12 Boba Fett, done in the style of like Mezco with the soft goods, and oof, Bayek it looks pretty. But of course, do not call this character Boba Fett. This is not Boba Fett. It is legally distinct. This is the Galactic Hunter. Boy howdy, if you wanted to just fudge him into a Star Wars display, he certainly wouldn't look out of place. And look at all these pictures. Oh man, they... Oh, They do look really, really good. It looks like it's going to be retailing for just over $100, give or take, but I've got a whole bunch of pre-order numbers here in front of me and Japanese yen and all that kind of stuff. But go over to Toys Metaverse. That's a place that I'm seeing it up for pre-order. Check it out for yourself in your local currency. If you're a Star Wars fan, you want your SEFT goods and your soft goods, both of those, if you want them. And a great representation of an imaginary character called Galactic Hunter, who in no way resembles Boba Fett. And this might be a good one to go for. Alright folks, get your wallets ready, because Carbotics, they're going to be taking a big old chunk of change for this admittedly very, very beautiful looking piece. This is Roz from Wild Robot. A film that I really want to see, but I know it's going to end up passing me by because it's not out in Japan yet, and when it does come out in Japan, I might not be here, and then when I go back home, it would have already finished. These cinema release dates, they drive you crazy. And this is a film I really want to see because it looks like it's got a lovely little hint of the Iron Giant with the typical kind of DreamWorks, just gorgeous eye candy quality. This one might tug at the heartstrings, or I assume it will do. I mean, the robot looks kind of adorable. And this Blitzway creation looks stunning. $190 worth of stunning, so it ain't cheap. But with light-up LED functions and what's surely going to be some wonderful craftsmanship, there are a lot worse things you could spend $190 on. McFarlane have done a full reveal of their Walmart exclusive Action Comics Superman. This is about as classic a Superman as I think you could ever hope to find. Certainly ticks all the boxes for what I would look for in a Clark Kent. He's got the noble, heroic face, the pencil curl. It's nice. He's got the cloth goods cape as well. These are little things like that do jack McFarlane figures up in quality over Marvel Legends. And then I look at all the other aspects of McFarlane figures and I'm like, nah, Marvel Legends are clearly better. But the cloth cape is nice, and this is a decent looking Superman. Nothing I'd say like, oh my goodness, this is going to change my perspective on McFarlane figures forever. But as a good example of the Blue Boy Scout, yeah, I think they've done a good job with this. Also exclusive to Walmart is McFarlane's new Hal Jordan, and this might be the definitive Hal Jordan, at least in McFarlane standards, if you're just going by McFarlane figures. A buddy of mine's a huge Hal Jordan fan, and he's been on the lookout for just one bespoke, perfect Hal Jordan figure. I'm going to point him in this guy's direction. I love the metallic green. That looks cool. A couple of little power effects as well. Kind of like Superman. Nothing blow away, but just a decent looking figure. You know me, I'm always going to be a little critical of McFarlane figures just because, I don't know, just natural prejudice maybe. I just marvel over DC for me. But looking at this, I can't really pick out anything too wrong with it. It's a good looking Hal Jordan. Speaking of looking pretty, these don't at all, but here they are. This is Fondjoy, a company I'm not familiar with, and they're doing 1/12 scale MCU model kits. And let me just understand the pitch here. So I've got to put the figure together myself, and when I do, it looks like that. Whew. It's a tough sell right there. It really is. But maybe you just like tinkering with stuff. Maybe you love the satisfaction of piecing things together. And if you do, then these might be for you. I mean, some of the characters like Iron Man, they look okay. There's no sort of human likeness there, but sorry, that Hulk, man, that's Disney Plus level CGI looking Hulk we're talking there. Yeah, these are a funny little curiosity. But similar to Iron Man. I think Iron Spider looks kind of cool, but whew. Those human-y type face sculpts. Yikes. And keeping with the more child-centric Ninja Turtles toys, but with a strong nostalgic bent for us adults as well, Playmates are also doing these 4-packs. So first of all, there's one that has Splinter... hang on, I was going to try and do it off my brain. No, I'm going to read it. Splinter, Shredder, looks like, you know, Super Shredder from Ninja Turtles 2. Then a Foot Soldier and Raza. That's the movie stars 4-pack there. And then they've got the second one, which... does it have a name? It doesn't have a specific name like movie stars, but we're getting Mutagen Man, Rat King, Casey, and Slash. So more childlike figures, but also not really, because they've got all the kind of nostalgia bait that is directed clearly at us. But each one of these 4-packs, they're $40 each. So $10 a figure? Yeah, that's actually a pretty damn good bargain, I think. Loose Collector are getting the excitement building for their upcoming Youngblood figures. Is it Youngblood? I mean, it's Rob Liefeld. Are these characters exclusive to Youngblood, or did they have their own? I don't know Image Comics, clearly. But I know a nice looking action figure when I see one. So we're getting Blood Wolf and Blood Strike. Oh, a whole lot of blood. There must be a Youngblood association there, certainly. And it's Loose Collector, so we're kind of familiar now with what to expect as far as the sculpting and the paintwork and the quality is concerned, and that would be something very nice. And now we're getting all these packaging promo shots where you can see, like, Blood Strike, for example. I mean, God, Rob Liefeld was shameless. It's Cable with a top knot, but he does look pretty cool. So I do like that, especially with just the huge, big, jacked up guns. The same goes for Blood Wolf as well. Just everything about this just screams 90s, and he's even got the screaming head to scream 90s. And I think, yeah, again, like so many other things for a lot of folks my age, this is going to tweak at the old nostalgia strings. Is that an expression? It is now. Godzilla Re-Energized and Kong Primal Frost. These are the two repaints that Mondo are doing for their, is it Dark? New Empire. I can never remember the name of that Kong and Godzilla movie. New Empire. These are the more powered up versions of the two titans, I guess. Mondo with their soft vinyl, they're always going to be expensive. These two are retailing for $190 a piece. Certainly fun, unusual, kind of like talking pieces. You have that on your mantelpiece when someone comes over and they'll be like, wow, dude, what's that? Or they're not going to say a word and just silently judge you. But you know what? Unless their judgment is, wow, this dude has an awesome action figure collection, then quite frankly, they're not worth knowing. So yeah, if you like the look of these, you can pick them up at Mondo.com. Mongo.com. Still not going to edit that. Still a few more little nuggets of information coming out of Shanghai WonderCon, or Wonderfest. It's Fest, isn't it? I've been covering it for 3 episodes now, I really should know. Romanki, who I first got familiar with from their blank bodies that they would do, their bodies are looking a whole lot less blank right now. A lot more colourful and so weird. I got a lot of time for it. First thing that caught my eye was these weird predator hybrid looking alien things. I don't know what they are, but chuck a bit of paint on them and they're going to be incredible. And speaking of paint, this pterodactyl woman, I don't know. So many other ones as well. The praying mantis lady. When you put the Romanki paintwork on these could be absolutely crazy. But this is just an example of what we can look forward to over the next year or so. But with that in mind, basing your ideas off these prototypes, you might want to start saving your money now, because I think next year, Romanki might be claiming a lot of it. Also getting in on the MCU Infinity Saga type figures, Blockies are moving away from Transformers and over to the MCU. And we've got some blockified versions of the main characters. Look in here, what have we got? Rescue, Captain America, Loki, Thor, and Thanos. Not a bad start. I don't really care for the look and aesthetics of these. It's funny, the blocky Transformers robots, I kind of dig those. But these look very much like, what was that Disney, is it Disney Infinities or something? There was a Disney computer game that had like little figures that you would buy, and it was a huge big marketing push and then ultimately kind of fell away to nothing. Yeah, you remember that? That's what these look like. Up for pre-order now is Figma's Zelda from Tears of the Kingdom. Like so many people, it took me a long time to realize that Zelda is the name of the princess, not the little elf guy. But now that I know that, I can speak in confidence about this figure and say that, yeah, she looks pretty nice, I guess. It's what you would expect. Figma, I can now say, now that I finally bought myself a little treat to Dave, the Figma Samus, I can attest that, yeah, they're nice quality. Real smooth joints, great craftsmanship. You get your money's worth, but you do pay a bit extra for Figma. They ain't cheap, but they also make really pretty looking figures. And this is another one. Just in time for Halloween, 4 Horsemen Studios are doing a Skeleton Army Builder 4-pack. $100. So it doesn't take a mathematics, there you go, a mathematics genius, wow, I word good. It doesn't take a mathematics genius to tell you that's about $25 a figure. $25 for a skeleton. Like a man who can't pronounce his T's or his F's, you can't say fairer than that then. And you can get these over at Store Horseman. It's kind of nice that they come with the different alternate faces as well, so you can mix things up a little bit. They're not all just the same identical skeleton. It's a fun black and white style army builder. So yeah, you can add to your Skelly army. McFarlane Toys are going down to a smaller scale of 3.75 for their Lord of the Rings, what is it called? The War of Rohirrim figures. Is that how you pronounce it? Rohirrim? I'm a little bit unsure about these characters. Is this just some old Lord of the Rings story, a different Tolkien one? Is this something that was set in, it mentioned in like the original trilogy of books or whatever? I don't know my lore. Because at first I saw these characters I didn't recognize and I thought, oh, this is going to be a Rings of Power thing. But I can't see a Rings of Power logo or anything on there. So help me out, Lord of the Rings nerds! Where are these guys from? They're going to be, I mean, it gives you the backstory. 183 years before the events chronicled in the films. But yeah, is there a source material for this in particular? Because these look like they exist in like a movie. But it's a movie I've not seen. But it's kind of fun. They all come together with a Build-A-Figure. You can make this cave troll looking thing. That's kind of fun. Is this the first 3.75-inch figure set that has a Build-A-Figure? Help me out. It's the first one I remember seeing. So yeah, check them out. And tell me all the things I don't know, because there seem to be a lot. With the lack of MCU films coming out, it would seem that Hot Toys are just really digging for as many different characters as they can do. So now we're getting Moff Gideon in his armor from the end of Mandalorian Season 3, I want to say. I haven't watched Season 3, but I do like the aesthetics of the armor. It's not the most original thing in the world, because it is just a variant kind of version of the Mandalorian armor, just tarted up like a whore's drawers with a little bit of a Stormtrooper Vader kind of vibe to it as well. It's an interesting mashup. And if you like these aesthetics, well, you can go on over to Hot Toys and put down a pre-order if it's open for pre-orders yet. I don't think it is yet. But when it is, you can do that. And you can add yet another Star Wars variant character to your shelf. To be fair, I mean, they do all look awesome. Oh, snap, crackle, pop. I don't know who originally posted it, but there's a photo going around of the Mafex Daredevil. Just inbox, ready to ship, good to go. So first of all, if you've pre-ordered this, then maybe it might be coming out sooner than expected. I mean, that would be nice, but also just from my perspective, I didn't pre-order it, but now I'm starting to wonder whether or not I should, because this looks way better. I think this one random inbox photo, this sells it to me more than the official Mafex pictures did, because it looks like there's more shading, more tone on the Daredevil body. I think it looks better, basically, than I think any of the promo pictures did justice to it. Maybe my mind is just going cray-cray, but looking at this is actually making me think more than ever before. Can't even get my words out. It's making me think more than ever before that maybe it's time to upgrade my Daredevil. Kotobukiya are re-releasing their Sniper Wolf statue. This is one that's been in high demand for a long time. It was very popular back in the day, and I'm guessing that with Metal Gear Delta coming out soon, they're probably trying to jump on the bandwagon to get a bit of that Metal Gear hype, and rightly so. Ideally, if this sells well, then maybe we could get some more Metal Gear characters. You could get The Boss, that's the one. Not so much Big Boss, although I could totally see them doing some gender-swapped Metal Gear characters, and if they do, I wouldn't get it, but dang it, I'd like to see it. And not spend money on it, because that would be a slippery slope. For all you 80s video game fans, myself included, Universal Pictures are moving forward with a Shinobi movie. And this could actually be completely cuckoo bananas if they want to go that route, which I don't think they will. I'm guessing that this is going to harken towards the more classic superhero style Shinobi. Basically a modern day ninja movie as if it was done through the lens of the MCU, because I think people are still chasing that kind of aesthetic for their action-type projects. But the original Shinobi, I don't know if it was the original one, but it's famous for having loads of copyright characters in, I don't know what the bunny ears signify, I don't know what word to do bunny ears for, but the Shinobi has Spider-Man in it, completely outside of Marvel's permission. It's got a Batman in it, it's got a Godzilla, and then when it was released in the US, those characters were kind of like painted over, given a different color scheme to mask the fact that they were just complete rip-offs. That's kind of fun. I mean, if Shinobi got real wacky and bonkers, It'd make for one heck of a fun movie. But I'm guessing we might be getting more of a Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings type vibe. Either way, it's going to be a long time until we find out, but already I'm happy to start speculating. This is a funny, kind of disappointing, strange story. Fans of the DC Marvel crossover amalgam were overjoyed, myself included, when we found out this was going back to the printing press. Marvel and DC, amazingly, Warner Brothers and Disney were going to team up and allow for a brand new printing of a trade paperback. And it's been delayed for the stupidest of reasons. They printed a few thousand, like maybe, they said 5 figures. They've printed a lot of these books, only to find that there's a huge printing error defect that they can't work around. They've had to pulp everything and go back and do it again, which must have cost a fortune. I'd be very surprised if this is actually going to turn out to be a profitable venture for this company now. Such a shame, but it is what it is. And considering how much manpower and effort and coordination it takes to book out printing presses and actually make things happen, this is a huge setback. So unfortunately, for folks like myself looking forward to this trade coming out soon, it looks like it's going to be pushed back way into next year. But hey, when it does, when it finally lands and we crack that thing open, oh, you're just going to be able to feel the 90s nostalgia just radiating off the pages. And when it does, it will have been worth the wait. Absolute Batman comes out today, and we've also got this amazing alternative cover, which I love a good homage. A thing that reminds me of a thing? Absolutely. So we got Batman doing the Akira poster. Looks so cool. I'm going to actually pick up this comic day one. I'm going to pay full price, going to give it a go, might even throw a little review as well, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I really want a poster of this cover. You know, just like framed, like, you know, in my imaginary cinema room that I have. One day I'll have that, and when I do, that's going to look baller. Now this is something I think is really cool. One of the great benefits of AEW working with Warner Brothers means that they now have a DC Comics type connection. So we're about to see a whole bunch of AEW stars popping up in DC Comics. They've released a little short story with Swerve Strickland. We've got this great splash page poster. I really love this. I love mashing up storytelling genres, and when you can do that and make it look as badass as this, oh, that's awesome. And I kind of like the fact that AEW is working with DC because I feel, for whatever reason, like, I think Marvel is so Disney-fied. It feels like Marvel is WWE, whereas AEW is a little more its own thing, a little bit more subversive, and that's a great fit for DC Comics. So these two working together, I like the look of this. Over in Custom Corner, I want to shout out Ovan MB Custom. This dude makes Hot Toys style Batman figures, bespoke, and they just, I keep using that word, I don't know if it means what I think it means, but these look absolutely stunning. His Absolute Batman, that was the first one that caught my eye and caused me to go down the rabbit hole. That definitely got my attention very quickly. And then seeing the other creations that he's made, I'd love to see him tackle other genres of characters, but just seeing this Batman character rogues gallery that he's put together, and of course the Dark Knight himself in all these different forms, man, you gotta look out, Hot Toys. This one dude, he's stealing your gimmick and he's doing it very, very well. Today's cosplay cover artist is Sky Summers. It looks like she mainly specializes in more anime, Japanese type franchises, but then she'll throw in a couple of badass US comic ones. The one that first caught my eye was this awesome looking, is it Gwen? Or is it Toxin? Or is it a little combination of both? I think she's just taken some cool elements of symbiote characters, smooshed them together, and done some badass cosplay with it. And she's done a whole bunch of other stuff as well, so you can go check her out. And folks, that does it for model behavior for today. What do you think about the items covered? Comment below. Let me know. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then you know what you gotta do. You gotta join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And if you want to go one step beyond in supporting the channel, then you can do by getting yourself a YouTube channel membership. You can see the names of the folks behind me. Thank you so much, everyone, for helping support me making these videos. It genuinely means the world, and I'm very, very grateful for it. So gang, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Up and down. I'm a coffee. Big time